The e-mountain bike tech world has developed at such a fast pace over the last few years. Do you remember when we were bolting on batteries to the down tubes of bikes? It wasn't actually that long ago. So in this video, we're going to explore some e-mountain bike trends to see where they've come from and take a calculated guess at where they're going to next. Lightweight e-bikes are getting more power. Since around 2020, where we saw the start of the super lightweight e-bike category, Lapierre were the first people there, but then Specialized, the big S, got involved with their Levo SL. However, we expected lightweight bikes to come with lower power. However, times are changing. Now those torque and peak power numbers are going up. Also, the battery capacities are getting bigger as well. The new Specialized Levo SL is now 50 Nm of torque with a peak power of 320 watts, up from 35 Nm and 240 watts. There's also the TQ HPR 50 and the Fazua Ride 60 that are really popular in the lightweight bike market. We see them on lots of bikes, so the numbers are creeping up, but the size and the weight is staying the same. To confuse matters a little bit further, bikes like the Orbea Wild or the Simplon Rapcon PMax are full power e-bikes that have become super lightweight as well. Around 20 kilograms for a bike with 160 millimeters of travel, with 85 newton meters of torque and a battery of 625 watt hours. Which leads me nicely into the categorization of these bikes is becoming more difficult. So no longer does a smaller battery capacity and less power equal a lighter weight bike specifically. And with things like customization, like range extenders, or even with the giant ranges of bikes, where you can actually tune how much torque the motor has. I'm going to make a prediction here that the future of e-mountain bikes becomes a lot more modular. So you can pick the shape of the bike that you want, the travel, the geometry, the wheel size, and then you can choose your power delivery. How much torque, how much peak power do you want from your motor, and how big a battery do you need for the type of riding you do. And then, hopefully, the categorization of the e-bikes comes back to the mountain bike world, which is, I think, slightly clearer, where it's just telling you what your bike is designed for, be it epic rides on a cross-country bike, or smashing downhill runs on a downhill bike, or doing big jumps and big drop-offs on a freeride bike. We'll find out. Better integration and a sleeker overall package. We've seen this in mountain bikes, the race towards getting rid of cables and wireless gears. Of course, that's come to e-bikes as well. But now with the connectivity to these bikes, is there a bike on the market now where you can't connect it to your mobile phone to set presets and mess around with power? Probably not. You can do all that. There's also been the move to wireless controllers on the bars, which is all very nice. And I'd like to see that continue, where maybe the connectivity is all to your phone, so you can have less faff, less buttons on the bike. Things like the Shimano XT Di2 with its auto shift as well could mean in the future you don't even need a gear shifter on the bars. I do think that is maybe 5 steps ahead of where I want to get to. Personally, I think I'll probably always want to have some choice in the gear, maybe not all of it, but you can still do that with the Shimano. You can let it do its work and still override it. So yeah, maybe we're not gonna have completely clean bars straight away, and maybe that's not what we want anyway. Advanced manufacturing and sustainability. A global pandemic saw an increase in demand which no one could have predicted. And that massive increase in demand and the lack of productivity was a perfect storm, which shone a light on some of those issues when a lot of the bikes are built, or made, should I say, in a handful of factories on the other side of the world from where they are sold. Some smaller companies could jump into action to try and meet some of that demand. People like 5Dev, who actually build their cranks in the USA, or even companies like Piera, who have production facilities in Bulgaria. In the future, AI design could even mean that durable components can be designed much easier, but also using less material, so less wastage. Things like the EU Right to Repair Act as well could mean that there's less components and bikes thrown away. A reduction in price. I'm sure that's something that we'd all love to see. Definitely the pandemic made prices go up, but as the boom came and there was overproduction, now we're seeing that go the other way. So there are lots of deals to be had at the moment. There are schemes available in places like Germany and the UK, where they have Job Rad and the Cycle scheme that are basically salary sacrifice schemes that can reduce a big chunk of the outgoings when you buy a bike just by the removal of tax. More trails and more events. I'm sure everyone would love to see that trend, but definitely in the last couple of years, we've seen e-bike racing take off, with the e-EDR particularly being added to the UCI World race calendar. And a lot of the riders that are doing that now even say it's harder and more physical than non-e-bike racing. As well as that, all around the world, local and national race events will almost always include an e-mountain bike category. The trend we're seeing is legitimising e-mountain bike racing as a sport of its own, especially with the emergence of a few dedicated e-mountain bike festivals like the Bosch Tweed Love. We've even seen the shift in the market at such events as Eurobike 2023. The world's biggest trade show now is almost predominantly e-bike focused. It's great to see these traditional mountain bike resorts like Finale really embracing the e-bikes, and even close to home like places like the Forest of Dean Cycle Centre. It's so popular here to ride e-bikes that the trails are changing to match, and I'd love to see more of these ski resorts that encourage mountain bikes to get on board as well and really kind of promote how good they can be for e-mountain bikes and design some proper e-mountain bike trails as well. Hey, I think we're living in a lucky time now to be riding these e-mountain bikes as good as they are already. But let me know down below in the comment section what trends you'd love to see in e-mountain bikes, how you think they can still improve. I'm sure there's some ways I've not thought of yet, but I'm loving the way it's going so far. And don't forget, if you're not subbed already, why not? Get subbed to EMBN. Give us a thumbs up.